If you've been eyeing Showit and wondering whether it's the right website builder for you, especially in 2025, this video will save you a ton of trial and error. I've used Showit for client sites and for my own business, and today I'll show you exactly what it's like, the good, the bad, and the kind of confusing parts most people don't talk about. This video is for my creative business owners, those photographers, coaches, and designers, and also for my more analytical folks like realtors, bookkeepers, and planners. Basically, it's for any small business owner who wants full design freedom without diving into code, but also doesn't want a website that turns into another full-time job. And if you're planning to DIY your site this year, before you even pick a platform, I've got a free class called From Overlooked to Fully Booked. It walks you through exactly how to build a site that actually brings in clients, not just one that looks pretty. You'll find the link for that in the description below, and you can save it for later. But first, let's see if Showit really fits how you like to work. Because the truth is, there's no perfect website platform. It's all about what fits you and what you'll actually use. I'm going to take you behind the scenes today so you can make an informed choice. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Kate with Dear Kate Brand Strategy. I started my first small business as a photographer back in 2011, and I've built my own websites ever since. Starting with Blogger and WordPress, then Profoto, Squarespace, Divi, I've tried just about everything. In 2019, I switched my photography site to Showit, and it was a total game changer. Not only did I love working on it for myself, but I loved showing other small business owners how to do the same. I pivoted more into website design and education back in 2020, and since then I've helped creatives and service providers build sites that actually work for them, not against them. So first, let's clear up what Showit actually is, because it's a little different than most website platforms. Showit is a visual website builder and hosting platform, kind of like Canva meets WordPress. You design your site visually using their drag and drop editor, and Showit hosts your site for you on their servers. Even better is if you want to have a blog, Showit connects directly to WordPress. Your blog posts live in WordPress, but your design and layout still happen inside of Showit. You don't have to mess with code or plugins, and you never need to buy separate hosting like you would with traditional WordPress. Now, just so you're not surprised, there are a few outside costs that might come up depending on how you set things up. First up, you'll still need to buy your domain name, which is your URL. This usually runs about $15 to $20 per year. I recommend Google Domains or Namecheap. You'll also need a template for Showit. Some are free inside the Showit marketplace, and then there's others, those premium designer templates that can range all the way up to around $1,600, just depending on the designer, what's included, and how much strategy is built into it. And then if you want a custom email address like hello@yourdomain.com, you'll pay for email hosting for that as well. Most people use Google Workspace, but I've also used VerveHost for my photography business, since that's where I originally had my website hosted before I moved to Showit. It's been a great service. I love their customer service. Both of those options work great. I'll link both in the description below for you. Otherwise, your Showit subscription covers your hosting, your builder, and your WordPress connection, all managed in one account. So Showit may not be the cheapest way to get online, but for a lot of creative business owners, the trade-off is totally worth it. You're paying for ease, design freedom, and never needing to touch code or plugins again. Showit is really the best option for creative and service-based businesses, anyone who wants that total visual freedom and creative control of their website. It also scales with you, so you can start simple and add a blog later, or even connect things like Shopify or WooCommerce or Thrivecart if you want to sell products or courses down the road. Because Showit is so easy to use, I recommend it for both people who are starting their very first website and those who plan to eventually hire out their design, but still want the ability to tweak and manage things themselves. I've worked with several business owners who hired out their website early on and ended up with something that they couldn't go in and make any changes to. They always had to hire out help for that. So I highly recommend Showit, whether you're planning to DIY or hire out. Okay, now that we've covered what Showit is, who it's for, and what to expect with costs, let's dive into what it actually looks like on the back end so you can see how it really works. All right, welcome to the backside of Showit. This is your design space and where you'll actually be building your design for your website. I'm going to give you just a big overview, and then we'll kind of dig into a couple of little things to show you how it all works. First up, you'll notice that we've got a menu here on the left and a menu here on the right. And then in the middle, you've got your mobile view and your desktop view. Now you can view each of those independent of the other or view both at the same time. I recommend keeping it to viewing both at the same time and working on them kind of in tandem versus having just one up unless you have a very small screen. The most important thing to know here is that your mobile design can be separate from your desktop design. So for example, on the desktop side, we've got these two little images that show, and on the mobile side, they're not there. You can do that with any element piece of that section of the screen. You can hide whole sections, just depending on what works best for you, and make adjustments to each of those independently of each other or together at the same time. It's super valuable to have that power over the mobile view because most of our viewers are viewing from a mobile device at this point. Versus most platforms, you'll design the desktop and then it'll just kind of format it to fit in a mobile view, and you just don't have as much control, which in today's marketplace is not the most valuable for you. Now we're looking at my Claire Scott template. We're going to play around here. I'm going to dig into some of these menus and how things work. First, over here on the left, we have two tabs. We've got the Site tab and the Page tab. The Site tab is going to be like your overall pages and main sections of your website, and main site settings and design settings. And then the Page tab is going to break down whichever page you're clicked on here into smaller sections. So it's kind of like that accordion system where, like, when you click on one thing, you're getting different menus, different options. Clicking into each of these things for you, your site settings is going to be where you set up your domains, your integrations like your pixel, your Google tags, your analytics, all of those things. You're going to set your social here, and you're going to connect your blog here. Next up is design settings. This is where you'll set your color palette and your typography. You have access to all Google fonts here, and you can also upload your own custom fonts with the WOFF files here below. Make sure that you have the proper licensing for those when you do so. But here back under site style, you'll have your title, heading, subheading, and paragraph fonts. You can set the size, justification, line height, all of these good things for each of those types of fonts and use them throughout your site so that they're consistent. You can also adjust and edit fonts within each page. So you're not limited to only these 4 stylings. It just makes it easier to kind of have more consistent styling throughout your. Same with your color palette up here. These 8 spots are for your color palette. These colors will be used consistently throughout your site that way. And then if you change one of these colors, so if, say, I was to change number 4 to a different shade, it would change everywhere that blue is throughout the site all at once. It's kind of a global design setting, and it makes it easier to adjust things on a global level, but you still can go in and make more minor adjustments where needed. And then this is new to Showit this year, buttons. So you can set up the styling of each of your buttons for mobile or for desktop, and you'll set a primary button for each, a secondary button for each, and then you can also set the hover. We'll pop out of there. Next up is your media library. This is where you're going to load all of your photos. Next up, we'll come down to pages. This is where you'll have your standard pages. These are exclusively designed in Showit. All of the content lives in Showit. What you see here is what you get on the live page. Something important to note that I think confuses a lot of people is that the design space is set to be a 1200 pixel width. Some people's screens are going to be larger, some people's screens are going to be smaller, and so it is a responsive style. When you go into preview the site, for example, this one is showing you what it's going to look like on a wider screen than that 1200 pixels. The elements are going to stay in the middle 1200 pixels, and you can use different tools to make things move to the sides or adjust how they fit within the screen. But like this section, everything stays centered, but you've got this more white space here on the side versus in what it looks like on the design space. So that is something that definitely confuses people. It's just trying to make it responsive and work for everyone's screen and look good on everyone's screen. Something to keep in mind. Okay, back to our tour of the left-hand side of the screen here. We've got blog templates. These are the pages where some WordPress content will come in. So for example, on this one, this category would come in from WordPress. The title of the blog post would come in from WordPress. And then there would be more posts that would populate underneath this. It's going to look different than what it looks like here in the design space. And that can be very confusing for people. But your template should also have a demo of what the final result should look like. So this is what that should look like with more blog posts filled in. Up next, we've got site canvases and canvas sets. To understand these, you have to know what a canvas is. So let's talk about that. A canvas is just going to be one section of your website. So in this example, it's from here, this dotted line to this dotted line is one canvas. Next is this canvas from this dotted line to this dotted line. So when we're talking about site canvases, these are canvases or sections that are the same everywhere that they're placed on the website. These are primarily used for things like menus. So we've got the menu here. I would edit it here, and every time that I edit it, it's going to be the same across the site wherever this site canvas is placed. Same with my footer. I've also got some like testimonials or credibility pieces that might be used multiple places throughout the site. This way I can just edit it once and it's the same everywhere that that canvas is placed. A canvas set is a combination of those site canvases. So in this instance, it's the header, the footer, and this pop-up scheduler that happens to be on this template. So on every page of my website that I want that canvas set, which is over here on the right, showing you that it's most of the pages of the website, these canvases will exist in the top and the bottom. Again, it just makes it a lot easier to have those consistent menus, footers, those things that need to be the same page by page. All right, clicking back into one of our standard pages, let's go to the home page here, and then I'm going to show you what's in the page tab. We've got the title of the page here. Then we've got our canvas sets. So on this one, we've got the main navigation and the footer canvas set. And then each of these is a canvas as well. So if I clicked into header, then you could see that each of these pieces underneath it is a part of that page. We've got a graphic, so a photo. We've got paragraph text here. We've got a button here, more photos, more text. And again, you can see these little images. When I click on them here, they light up over here, are not showing up on mobile. I've just got the visibility turned off on mobile so that I can make those two views different. When I click into an element on the right-hand side, all of the settings for that element come up. So I can change the text style, the properties, the size and the position, click actions, animation, hover, effects, and advanced. That right-hand side is going to change options and menus depending on what kind of element you clicked into so that they fit the type of element that you're working on. Now, if I wanted to add something to the page, I'd come down here to add element, bottom center, and we've got our text options. We've got elements like a rectangle, oval, line, image, icon, button, embed code, video, gallery, and social grid. And then we also have access to our media library here as well. And you can just click and it pops up in the center of the page and you can make your adjustments, move things around, and everything again is drag and drop. There's no grid that things have to clip to, but there are guides to help you make sure that things look good. So there you can kind of see like those snapping guides that I've got turned on so that I can make sure things are lined up. I'm going to delete that little guy. Another thing to note here is like if you select multiple elements over to the right, there are ways to keep things in alignment. So I can align them to each other. I could align them to the canvas. I'm going to undo that. You can also group elements now. So if you wanted to make those into one group and then align it center, top to bottom, that's an option. Lots of options now with grouping, alignment, and sizing things. Again, this is all no code, very drag and drop, very easy to adjust. But if you wanted to add code, you can absolutely do that as well. You can come into this advanced section and do class selectors. You can also do option, double click, and change the HTML for that element. That's something that you might want to do at a more advanced level. The other beautiful thing is like, if I wanted this image to be larger, just size and resize it. If I wanted just the mom to show in the one kid, I can change it to that. I can also change where the image is within that box. So I could just show the kids and I don't have to crop things outside of Showit. I can crop them within Showit as well. So I could come in here and change that now. Super handy without having to do a bunch of work on the outside of the program as well. Along those same lines, when I was building websites on other platforms and I wanted text over an image, I would have to create that outside of the website builder in another platform. And when you do that, you lose a lot of information that Google is pulling. So if I had this photo here and it had text on it that I had created outside of the website platform, Google wouldn't be able to read that text. It would only be able to read that image, and then you're losing the SEO of the words on that text. But within Showit, I could just come in and add text over my image just by creating a text element and clicking and moving it over. Again, It seems so simple, but that is not something I could do in other platforms and can be a big game changer. It also saves me the time of having to create that somewhere else and bring it in. And editing wise, a lot faster and easier to do it all within the same platform. I did mention earlier that you're not limited to just the text styles and typography that you put in as your design settings. I could literally come in here and change the font to any font that I have uploaded and activated in this design. This Courier New is not a font that I have anywhere else in the design, but I can put it here if I want it. I can also change the color. And again, here are the color styles that we have set already as our automatic ones. But if I wanted red text here for some reason, I could do that as well. You're not limited to only the design settings that you have, but they do help guide you and keep you more consistent throughout. This comes in super handy if you're like me and you have special offers or services that maybe have different branding than your main offer. For example, my sales page for my signature program brand Basecamp has different fonts than my rest of my website because it is branded on its own versus my business brand. Things like Canvas views help make things even more interactive. So for example, this is just a testimonial section, and the section would look the same on the page. And then you've got these little arrows so you can click left and right. And when you click the arrow, it changes the view so that just that part of your screen would change and not have to just scroll to the next thing. It's a good way to like add more interactive elements, more content for people who need more, but you don't want to make them scroll too much. It's a good place to have more depth without lengthening your pages and making it too much for people to read. And again, this one is a site canvas. So anywhere that I put this canvas on the website, if I update it here, it's going to change on all of those pages. Okay, I think that gives us a good walkthrough of the main gist of things. Clicking back into the site tab and on a page itself, you'll also notice this is where SEO settings come into play. You'll set your page title, your meta description, and your share image. This is going to be what shows up when you share that link on like Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, whatever, in that like preview image. And then again, there are advanced settings. So you can go in here and add things like custom head code or custom CSS. Again, they're not musts, but they're an option here. And so that is why this can grow with you. Finally, I just want to point out that the get help options are here. You can ask a question or go into the Showit documents. The Showit team is really responsive, super helpful at finding you answers and getting your problem solved as you're working on your website. And they know how to talk to DIYers too, not just super tech speak, which can be an issue and is something that I experienced in the past working with hosting companies trying to figure things out. Their support team would talk to me in language that I really didn't understand, and Showit has a wonderful way of connecting with their actual clients and understanding who their users are. I always suggest playing with a platform and software before you make the big decision to buy. Showit offers a free trial. I'll link to that below in the description, and I recommend you testing it out. When you start a design for the first time, you'll see all of these options for templates. These are free templates primarily provided by Showit, some by other designers. And while you can get away with some of these free designs for your full site, I will tell you that it's going to be a longer process because you're going to be pulling pieces and parts from each one to try to kind of get all of the layouts and design that you need. But these are a good place to start if you just want to test things out and see how it works. I'm going to click into this compass one. And I mean, go in and break things, mess with things, play with them, move them around, see what it looks like. This is not anything that you're married to. It's just a place to play. And then you can start a new design when you're actually ready to build or duplicate what you like and then go from there. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that you can move all of your canvases around. So say I wanted to move this experiences piece up above that about section. That's possible. So here's that piece now versus where it was before. You can also pull things from other pages by clicking these three dots and going add from library. You can pull from your current site. the Showit library, your other sites. Let's say we're going to just pull this Who We Are section. And it's going to put it at the bottom of the page, but then again, I can just move it up to where I want it. So now I've already just changed the whole look of that template by moving things around. It's so easy to use, but again, everyone's going to be a little bit different in how their brain works and what works for them. So now that you've seen what it's actually like to use Showit, you probably have a good sense of whether it fits how you like to work. If you're a creative or service-based business owner who wants your website to feel like you and you love having full visual control, Showit can be an amazing fit. Even if you sell digital products or courses, it still works beautifully with tools like Shopify Lite or Thrivecart added in. The key is pairing that freedom with a clear strategy behind your site. If you're here because you're realizing your current DIY site isn't quite doing what you hoped, maybe it looks great but isn't getting the results you want, let's dig into why that might be. Click into this video right here and I'll walk you through what's really going on behind the scenes when your website isn't converting and how to fix it.